Stephen Curry just changed NBA history by putting himself in a new place among the all-time greats. The names Steph just passed up are legendary, and it's not just winning the finals MVP. That's just a trophy. It's how he did it. This is by far the worst team the Steph Warriors have taken to the finals. Obviously, the Kevin Durant era was on another level, but in 2015, you had a younger Steph, Clay, and Draymond, plus prime Andre Iguodala, Harrison Barnes, former #1 pick Andrew Bogut. This year, Steph had Kevon Looney, Jordan Poole in his first playoffs, and Andrew Wiggins. Oh, and Draymond? Did you know he once scored 32 in a finals game? What happened to that guy? And obviously, Clay's not himself. Steph had to be great, and it destroys the myth that he sucks in the finals. That has always been a myth. Haters like to look at the one finals where he wasn't good. In 2016, the Cavs focused on Steph before they got KD, and they shut him down. He only averaged 23 on 40% shooting, which was bad by his standards. In every other finals, he has been good or very good. The only reason he had bad games was getting double teamed. Draymond and KD got in a fight on Twitter because Dre said Steph got double teamed 7 times the amount that KD did. And if you don't understand basketball, you're gonna say he needs a finals MVP to validate who he is. Exactly. KD said that was 100% false. Draymond was right. Okay, maybe he wasn't double teamed 7 times as much, but the Cavs chose to double team Steph and just let KD do his thing. But now, without KD, after dominating the Celtics, Steph is undeniable. Even the haters will have to admit his place among the all-time greats. I want to get to exactly where Steph is all-time, but we can't forget about Boston. Look, I thought they were the better team in the finals. 2 all-star wings in their prime, the defensive player of the year. Al Horford and Robert Williams were great, but Jason Tatum is not ready, and I'm not sure he'll ever be ready. Boston had a chance to go up 3-1 in the series, and Tatum blew it. In the second half, he only made 2 shots. Look at his awful stats for the finals. And I know the Dubs sold out to stop him, but superstars find a way. He's only 24 years old, so hopefully this is just one more step for Tatum to learn from, but maybe not. Maybe he will never get this far again. I know that sounds crazy, but the best players in the world believe they're the best player in the world. MJ and LeBron, obviously, but even like Draymond and Russell Westbrook think they're amazing. Supreme confidence is that intangible that raises a game. Jason Tatum might not have that. He said something that was a huge red flag before they lost to Golden State.
I'm sure that I've seen it as a huge debate. Is he a superstar? Is he not? I want to know where that came from. Like, did I tweet that? Did I ever say that I'm a superstar or, I'm on the verge? Like, that never came from me. But it has been a big deal this last year and a half or 2 years. And I see it all the time. And there's always been a question in the back of my head. Like, I wonder who spoke on my behalf or said that.
What? What 24-year-old all-star doesn't think he's a superstar? How are you going to be the best player on a finals team and not think you're a superstar? Obviously, Tatum has the skills to be a champion, but the best players need more than skills. They need a mindset that says, I am the best player on this court. If Tatum doesn't have that, losing in the finals is the best it's gonna get. Now, y'all can tell me if I'm overreacting in the comments, but this is a big problem if I'm a Celtics fan. And we also have to mention the Warriors front office. Okay, idiots like me said they need to trade James Wiseman for a center like Miles Turner or a big like Jeremy Grant, but they didn't, and it worked. The Dubs are trying to be the next Spurs. Now, I don't put the Warriors dynasty on that level yet, okay? They've got 4 chips to the Spurs 5, but they're getting there. Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody had big moments in the playoffs. Wiseman gets to come back healthy next year and play with a championship squad. Jordan Poole was a late first-round pick, and he played like a max player against the Nuggets. But this is all about Steph Curry, and it's always been about Steph Curry. He is the one constant throughout every single finals run. They made 3 finals with Kevin Durant and lost 1, and now they've made 3 finals without KD. KD left the Warriors to prove he could be the man, and all he did was prove that Steph is the man. He has now won without KD yet again, and he has risen among the all-time greats. There were people who tried to point at the 2015 finals and say, well, Steph didn't win finals MVP and the Cavs were hurt, so it was a fluke. Steph needed Kevin Durant to win even more than 1 chip. Can't use that excuse anymore. And by the way, he needed a great teammate. Every single all-time great needs great teammates. So where does Steph rank all time now? Well, there are certain players that he's obviously better than. Giannis, Dwayne Wade, Charles Barkley, right? But before this title, ESPN had him ranked as the 13th best all time, just ahead of Kevin Durant. Well, now I would move Steph to number 9, ahead of Kobe Bryant and Shaq, just behind Tim Duncan, and here's why. Duncan was the best player on 4 championship teams, with the exception of 1999. Even in 2015, when he was older, he led the Spurs. In terms of intangibles, Duncan was the culture for San Antonio. They built their dynasty on his mindset and on his greatness. Kobe had Shaq for 3 of his titles. He was the best player on 2 of them. Shaq was the best player on the Lakers, but D. Wade carried him in 2006. Shaq's prime was a lot shorter than it should have been because of his work ethic. He did not approach the game like an MJ or a Kobe. But the one thing Steph has that none of these guys have is how he changed the game. Normally when a player is drafted, he has to adapt to the NBA. The NBA adapted to him. We have never seen that kind of impact from any player in NBA history. He's not the only person responsible for the three-point revolution, but Steph is the face. He's also the most humble superstar we've seen, along with Bill Russell and Tim Duncan.
Steph, what does just this mean to you to finally be a finals MVP after everything?
Forget that, we champs. Why are you starting with that question? We got 4 championships.
Steph invited KD to take over his team because it's all about winning with Steph. The Warriors' offense is about sharing the ball and player movement because Steph sets the example. Steph allows himself to be cursed out by Steve Kerr. If he didn't, it would be totally different. Next year, Klay will be healthier. They may make a trade to have a better center. James Wiseman will be back. Kuminga and Moody will have more experience. But right now, we can say Steph is top 10 all time. The Warriors are back on top of the league without Kevin Durant, by the way, and their best player made himself undeniable. And by the way, Kevin Durant might leave the Nets again because some reports say that Brooklyn is not going to give Kyrie Irving a long-term deal. I think KD would take that as a slap in the face. And where will KD go if he leaves the Nets? This could actually happen this offseason. So I made an entire video about it, why KD could actually leave the Nets and what it could mean for the rest of the NBA. Here, check it out.